Another new beginning with more hope for commitment to improve on good governance, economic growth and social development. That's a major perspective in President Buhari's New Year message to Nigerians. We also have views and analysis of the President's message by a public affairs commentator. Welcome to the first panorama in the year 2021. I'm Naja'atu Tijani, wishing you great achievement this brand new year. President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to remain unshaken in his genuine commitment to the people of Nigeria, especially the youth, whose future, he says, must be effectively secured for sustainable growth and development of the country. In a nationwide broadcast to usher in the new year, the president promised to reorganize and re-energize the nation's security apparatus towards engaging, pushing back and dismantling the operations of all criminal groups threatening national security and civic well-being. State House correspondent Adam Sambu reports.
The year 2021 will indeed be a year where we will work to reinforce the hopes of fellow Nigerians in the vision of a united and progressive Nigeria.
To achieve this, President Muhammadu Buhari said his administration would continue focusing on delivering key strategic priorities under the security, economy, as well as the anti-corruption agenda.
As your elected president, I will play my part fully and without fear or favor. I invite all of us to do the same. It is what we owe to the founding generation of our beloved country and also to the coming generation. It is what we desire for national prosperity for all demands.
Describing the youth as the nation's most valuable natural resource, the president promised to ensure that their entrepreneurial drive is fully supported and encouraged.
Their ingenuity, creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurial spirit is evident to all. We will partner with the legislature to develop an enabling environment to turn their passions into ideas that can be supported, groomed, and scaled across regions.
The year 2020, President Buhari acknowledged, was not only a tough one for the country, but also put to test the national resilience and abilities, saying, however, that Nigeria will indeed survive and thrive.
As your elected president and commander-in-chief, I would ensure that these ongoing challenges will be faced head-on with renewed determination and with all the appropriateness and urgency required. Your voices have been heard, and we will continue to listen to you and all the key stakeholders who are committed to the unity of Nigeria to ensure that every region of this nation is safe for us all.
And with the recent reopening of the nation's borders, expectations are that the pent-up demand of legitimate cross-border and international trade will boost the fortunes of the many small businesses and agricultural enterprises.
The message to our West African neighbors is that Nigeria is once again fully open for those willing to conduct business in a fair and equitable way. On the anti-corruption drive of our administration, we have recorded substantial gains so far, and this year we are committed to continuing along the path of eradicating corruption through collaboration with all the arms of government to effectively prosecute this fight. We would ensure the diligent and timely prosecution of corruption cases.
Keeping Nigeria on a forward march, the president insists is a collective responsibility and urged the citizenry to strictly observe the coronavirus prevention protocols as the federal government finalizes plans to procure and effectively distribute the COVID-19 vaccines towards ensuring that the country is safe from the resurgent cycle of the global pandemic.
Long live the Nigerian spirit of oneness, togetherness, and unity.
From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Now let's join a public affairs analyst, Bala Zakka, to give his thoughts on the President's New Year speech. Mr. Zakka joins us from Lagos via Zoom. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now let's have your view on the President's New Year message.
To be honest, I mean, marks like excellent can be given to people, to candidates during assessment. And honestly, today's speech is not short of scoring a mark called excellent by my assessment. I was particularly impressed when Mr. President appreciated the youths, and he made them to understand that everything about them was being appreciated. Before now, the spirit of our youth was basically down because they felt, they were being viewed as lazy youths and people who didn't have what it was going to take to be future leaders. But it was very clear he appreciated them. Honestly, there is good, there is better, there is best, but I will give it, a mark of excellence today.
Now, the final hours of 2020 has been loaded with notable events, including the signing of the 2021 Appropriation Bill law. Also, the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement takes off. Now, what's your view on this, and how are they connected? Not forgetting the recent reopening of the border.
First of all, when you talk about a budget is a future plan in monetary terms. We know we have a deficit budget, but the good thing is it's a future plan. If we go by fiscal discipline and monetary discipline, and we're able to do something about security in particular, we will do well in 2021. We all know what happened to the global economy, and we are yet to exit the pandemic. But particularly in the case of Nigeria, if we try to look inwards, we are likely to come out top and great. And on the case of the African Continental Free Trade area, it started practically today, though it was delayed before because of the COVID-19 or the pandemic. In the case of Nigeria, Nigeria is already well strategically positioned as the continental hub for Africa. Africa has been waiting for Nigeria to lead. This is also an opportunity for Nigeria to lead. We should be able to lead in commerce, we should be able to lead in trade, we should be able to lead in leadership, and we should retain that position. And if we retain that position, Africa will look up to Nigeria, and Nigeria will represent Africa very well amongst the Committee of Nations.
Now, it's interesting to note that you talked about leadership just now, and in the President's address this morning, he emphasized youth empowerment through addressing their challenges and demands. How do you think the youth can collaborate with Mr. President to achieve this?
Well, thank you for that question. I will use the phrase of a Nigerian successful youth to just profile my suggestion. You know, we have this great Nigerian sportsman or young man called Anthony Joshua, the boxer. From the way he has been winning and has been making progress, he always says, less talk, more action. He is interested in less talk, more action. Our president already is somebody who talks less, so we will appreciate and will want to see more actions.
I'm glad you talk about less talk and more action, because this is an area he talked about that's regarding insecurity. What can we do about that, as well as the role of Nigerians in this? Recall also that in his speech this morning, in his address, he also talked about anti-corruption. Are they related, and what do you think can be done in this area?
I don't want to be seen as somebody who wants to shower so much accolades on the president, but we knew how the president behaved when he was a youth. It is on record and cannot be disputed that when he was a youth, he went to Borno State, Northeastern State then, and was able to deal with the Metasine, riot. We knew what he did. We knew how successful he was when he was a youth, as also a governor and the minister for petroleum. So bringing that forward today, and now that we are in a democratic dispensation, there is so much we can do. Insecurity generally means absence of control. When you have insecurity, then you are going to lose, economic benefits. When you don't have security, you are not going to have food security. And if you are not going to have food security, there will be social insecurity. And when there is social insecurity, then rascals, bandits, terrorists will want to render a country lawless. They will want to render a government powerless and render every economic and GDP variables useless. So to a great extent, one of the things we need to fight is insecurity. Just imagine a situation where probably like the 1 million youths that couldn't go to farm due to insecurity in 2020, assuming each of these youth was supposed to just cultivate 1 ridge of harvest. Because of insecurity, we have lost 1 million ridges of harvest, and that is how terrible insecurity can be. Insecurity has a way of even bringing disagreement and distrust among security agencies. Insecurity has a way of bringing fight and collusion and disagreement even among political leaders, because we saw how our legislators were complaining. In fact, insecurity can deter foreign direct investment and will discourage even local direct investment. That's one of the key things we need to fight. Once we are able to deploy our control mechanisms and defeat insecurity, most of the economic variables and indices will line up and will be in place, and Nigeria will be a sweet destination hub for investors, whether foreign direct investors or local direct investors, and it will strategically position our leadership on the right seat to recalibrate things and lead Africa.
Now let's hope that we all Nigerians, every one of us, will play our role to ensure that Nigeria becomes much greater than it is. Thank you again, Mr. Bala Zakka, Public Affairs Analyst who joined us from Lagos.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year and congratulations to Nigerians.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, 2020 has been an eventful year globally, and most flashbacks around the world have not been so happy. Though characterized by the coronavirus, several other laudable issues played out in the country. Butua Miller has details.
By now, many events would have been on to herald the new year, but for obvious reasons, 2021 is coming in quietly, no thanks to 2020, which has had lots of ups and downs, from economic recession, coronavirus pandemic, NSAS protests, bandits and insurgents, to very positive activities such as launch of an integrated gas handling facilities, inauguration of modular refinery, Lagos-Ibadan train service, Itakpe Warri rail line after 33 years, Onitsha port after 42 years, Nigerian stock exchange outperforming all global markets, the country still being top African economy and 26th in the world, just to maintain a few.
It has also been a year, that has encouraged, positivism from the mindset of every young person. So to me, the year 2020, I don't know the way others see it, but to me, it's a great year.
I believe we'll use the bad or the negative effect of it, the bad side of 2020, to gain or also to build ourselves.
The year 2020, I would say, is one of the most difficult years. Barely have we started the year when COVID started. and it is gone throughout the whole year.
Let's count our blessings, learn our lessons from the year 2020, the best way to move forward and to have a fantastic 2021.
Just as many have alluded to, that in spite of the rough patches of 2020, we should count our blessings, learn our lessons. As we come to the end of the year, let's love, let's unite, let's forgive, let's respect, let's learn, let's grow while we dust our feet of 2020 and work it with gratitude into the year 2021. In Abuja, I am Buto Miller, NTA News.
Similarly, Nigerians are being encouraged to strengthen their faith in God for a better 2021, even in the wave of the second phase of the coronavirus pandemic. Kelvin Samuel reports from Uyo.
Crossover night is an annual ritual in Christendom which signifies a departure from the old year and a triumphant entry into the new year. Christians hardly miss this very special service, as it is believed that stepping into a new year in God's presence better position one for God's blessings. The reverse seemed to be the case this year, which is as a result of the present COVID-19 pandemic. However, ministers of the gospel at some churches visited are encouraging Christians to continue in prayers, as there is nothing God cannot do.
And as long as we put our trust and hope in Him, God will give us a better 2021.
When your hands are getting weak, when you can't see the future anymore, and the word enters into you, life enters into you.
No matter the pandemic, no matter whatever is happening, put your hope in God and hold on to your faith in God.
Other worshippers were full of praises, thanking God who spared them to see the year 2021.
We have been praying and it is like this. What if we were not praying? The people of God will expect that God will answer our prayers more.
It took only God's intervention for us to be alive today. And all Christendom, we have cause to celebrate. I haven't seen the last day of 2020. He has His purpose for keeping us, and I pray that His purpose for us will be made manifest.
In Uyo, Kelvin Samuel, NTA News.
Clergymen there in Uyo giving thanks for the past year and the new year. We now take a break, and after the messages, Fatima in Makudi will take over to bring you some reports.
For now, the best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices, as well as social distancing. As individuals, we remain the greatest weapon to fight this pandemic. By washing our hands regularly with clean water and soap, disinfecting frequently used surfaces and areas, coughing into a tissue or elbow, and strictly adhering to infection prevention control measures in health facilities, we can contain this virus.
Coronavirus is real. Steps to avoid this pandemic. Wash your hands regularly or sanitize your hands. Keep social and physical distancing. Avoid crowded places. Stay at home unless absolutely necessary. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth if your hands are not clean. Avoid the spread of coronavirus. Coronavirus is real.
Happy New Year and welcome to Makudi. Governor Samuel Otom has called on Nigerians to work for peaceful coexistence of the country and pray for its leadership under President Muhammadu Buhari to enable it to surmount the current security and economic challenges. He made the call in his New Year message to Benue people and other Nigerians. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Tade Akasi, Governor Otom said although the year 2020 came with numerous challenges such as COVID-19 and increased insecurity, praise and glory must be given to God for his grace and protection through the year. The governor commended the State Action Committee on COVID-19 led by the Deputy Governor Benson Abonu and all those serving in the front line and the back end to contain the pandemic, noting that their selfless efforts have resulted in the relatively successful response to the virus in the state. The governor equally appreciated people of the state for their support, which has helped his administration to record achievements in various sectors of the economy. He gave the assurance that despite the challenges the state faced, it remained focused to realize the vision of an economically self-reliant and prosperous federating unit of Nigeria anchored on the fear of God. On security, the governor stressed that the step taken by the State Security Council in banning motorcycles in Katsinala and Ukum local government areas is yielding positive results in curtailing crimes. He appreciated all the security agencies in the state for their untiring efforts in guaranteeing safety of lives and property and assured them that his administration will continue to support them to succeed. Governor Otom reminded the people that as they enter the year 2021, they should remember the need to observe COVID-19 safety protocols. As part of activities to usher in the new year, the Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has secured the release of 15 inmates at the Makurdi Correctional Center at Peace. This gesture, according to the governor, is intended to extend a hand of fellowship to some of the inmates who have been of good conduct while serving their jail term. Out of the 15 released inmates, 10 were given various jail terms but had shown good behavior while staying in the correctional center, while the remaining 5 persons were those who were granted bail but unable to meet the bail conditions. The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mike Busa, who stood in for the governor, advised the freed inmates to be of good behavior and law-abiding when they reintegrate back into the society. Assistant Comptroller of Prisons, Dr. Alhaji Samuel, commended the Benue State Governor for his gesture and cautioned the freed inmates against carrying out any social ill as they are now freed. That's our contributions from Makurdi. News Panorama continues with Najatu Tijani in Abuja.
Thank you, Fatima. And still on New Year messages, more voices are being heard, giving assurance of better times than those in the past, particularly the challenges accompanying 2020. Kenneth Nanim compiled the messages.
The President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has felicitated with all Nigerians in this festive season and wished them joy and prosperity in 2021. In his New Year message, Senator Lawan observed that the many socio-economic challenges in 2020 could not dampen the hope for a better Nigeria. He thanked God that the impact of the global health emergency and economic recession on Nigeria is not as catastrophic as predicted by experts. Senator Lawan harped on the need to prepare better than before for the new year 2021 and the years ahead, as the 9th National Assembly has remained firm on its policy of passing the national budget in December preceding the fiscal year and has done so for 2020 and 2021. More importantly, some critical legislations that could not be enacted in 2020 as a result of the unusual development like the petroleum industry Compulsory Bill and the various constitutional amendments are now on the priority list of the legislative agenda of the National Assembly for 2021. Meanwhile, the Speaker of House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has congratulated Nigerians for witnessing the New Year 2021 despite the challenges of the past year. In the New Year message, the Speaker urged Nigerians to keep hope alive in the year 2021. He says Nigerians should use the experiences of the year 2020, which he described as very challenging, to work towards a better 2021. Gbajabiamila is optimistic that the year 2021 will usher in a lot of good for Nigeria and Nigerians, hence the need for citizens to remain positive. Gbajabiamila also called for unity and continuous peaceful coexistence amongst Nigerians, saying Nigeria is the only country we can call ours. Also, the All Progressives Congress APC has joined Nigerians to celebrate the New Year 2021. Senator John James Akpan Udede, National Secretary, Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, in a statement reassured that the Governor Malabuni-led Caretaker Committee is committed to serving the party in response to the desire and directive of the National Executive Committee and party supporters. He commends the APC governors, leadership of the National Assembly and the entire APC caucus of both chambers of the 9th National Assembly. He thanked ministers for their total support, collaboration and understanding. The APC Caretaker Committee expressed confidence that all pending and emerging crises within the party at all levels will be resolved to create an harmonious working atmosphere for the party's coming General Convention.
That concludes the news on Panorama. Thank you for joining us. See you again on Nationwide.